Manifesting 101, I guess.
102.
102. Oh my gosh.
This is about the maintaining part.
Yeah, the maintaining of manifesting, yeah. So,
Come talk to me. Really? What happened today?
So we were ready to discuss take two, right? This is a take two. So we were ready
Do it with more emphasis this time. I want to see you act it out.
Oh God.
Put some feeling into it. Like you really manifested something. And then you really lost it. And then you really found it.
Okay, I really need to put a picture of this on there, which I took. So, this started because I'm feeling poor and sad for myself. And like usual, like what day do I not wake up and feel this way? This is just human reality, you know. And I love that I do what I do as a psychic medium, and I still have these problems. Uh-huh. That's the best part, I think. Because
it's still learning for you?
Because what?
It's still learning for you? Meaning like...
yeah, it just shows that I'm real. Like this isn't just because you it's kind of like if someone were to be like super rich and tell you all their serious financial problems. And you're like, oh shit, I never want to be rich. You know what I'm saying? It's like really like that, like serious problems that they cannot fix with money, or that it looks like they could try to fix, but they actually can't. Like, how do you have, like, how would somebody, like, you'd really feel sorry for them. You know what I'm saying? Like genuinely feel sorry for them. It's like when I saw that thing about, what's his name? The actor or whatever, Kevin Spacey. And people were talking about how he was crying because he lost his home. And I don't know, it was through bankruptcy or something like that. And it was just like, that broke my heart. Like that makes me cry, like immensely. And most people are like, oh, fuck off. You know, like you have enough, you'll be able to figure it out. Like that's not, but I get it. Like I so get it. So anyway, that's why I like being a psychic, that people think that I know something, and I do in my own world, in the sense of I know how it works, but I'm still practicing how it works every single day of my damn life. And so if anything, I practice it more because it is also my job. And so I better get really good at practicing, meaning doing my job, you know, so I can offer that to other people. It's kind of like a surgeon, you know, they just get really, they have a lot of people, you know, let's say if it's heart surgery, and it's just like, they have to do a lot of practice to do their job well. You can't learn it in books. You know, you have to do it firsthand. So that's my job. So obviously I don't have an easy life. In fact, I have one of the hardest lives if you compare it to the average yogi bear.
Well, the average yogi can forget about it for a little while.
Exactly. That. So say that again.
The average yogi can forget about it and not practice it.
Yeah.
You know, because they have some alternatives time on their hand.
Alternative time. I like it. That's a good term.
Dream team.
Oh my God. Anyway, so yeah. Now I'm thinking of which podcast this is going to go on. Anyway, so wait, what am I talking about?
Let's talk about how you turned to Jesus.
How I turned to Jesus. Oh shoot. Okay, so I'm in the car dropping my kids off from school to school, which again, that has a whole nother layer of feeling pitiful about myself and my situation, And I was actually going to run home because I have so much stuff I have to do for work, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't able to turn in that direction, by the way. Oh, yeah. So normally I turn left to go home, and I wasn't able, there's so much traffic. I was forced to turn right. And I was like, okay, fine. And I knew, obviously, I'm very well skilled on knowing what stuff like that means. I don't take things like that lightly, or just like, oh, well. I also don't attach meaning to it. I just follow it. So that's another big thing. I don't be like, oh, what does that mean? You know, I don't even ask the question. I just say, okay. I say a lot of okays in my life. during the day. So I make a right and I start driving and I don't know where I'm going. And then all of a sudden I see the sign, turn to Jesus. Now, there's no turn to Jesus signs. There's tons of turn to Jesus signs and so forth in Florida. The Mecca of Christian religiousness is very flavored on everyone's lawn, you know? Yeah, it's just their spice. So I use that. I use every single thing as a sign and literally a yard sign. So I see this turn to Jesus and I'm like, oh, Jesus, I haven't been talking to you in a while because I've been in Alaska and there's no turn to Jesus in Alaska signs to remind me of that, which is also nice. But this time I was like, fine, Jesus, what? And I'm kind of, like a teenage bitterment of like over it, as if I were like 18. So I'm like, fine, Jesus, what do you want me to do? And I hear, not with my ears, but psychically hear, drive. And at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm psychic. Like, I don't even have to ask in the sense of like literal, but I just get intuitively what I need to do is drive. Seconds later, I see the sign, drive safely. I'm like, okay, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, well, aren't you my safety? Like, what does that mean? So anyway, I kind of chuckled at that and I just got just keep driving. So at this point, I'm starting to hear rattling in my car and I get concerned because I have really major PTSD from our car troubles that we've had. As soon as we arrived to Florida this season, in September, we just had both of our cars kerplop and it was horrible and our AC broke. Every single thing that could break and go wrong went wrong. So obviously I have trauma about that and I'm driving down the road trying to figure out, oh my gosh, is it the DVD playing? Is it something serious that my car's going to like kerplop on the road? And then and I realize of how much anxiety my body is experiencing, like really violently anxious, even though I look to myself completely calm. So I'm going down the road. I full with the DVD. That's not it. I kind of like do the brakes, all these different things, and nothing is changing the sound. And I'm just like, Jesus, if I was rich. And so then I posted my own thought of if I was rich, LOL, just kidding. Right? I posted my own thought of if I was rich, would I feel this way? Meaning if I had money, not even rich, if I just had money, if I had money, would I be this worried? And I immediately said no. I'm like, well, thanks a lot, Jesus. Like you want me to live on nothing? Like what is going on here? So I kept on driving and I then started to feel as if I were rich, as if I had money. And I almost started crying and being like, that's a nice feeling. I haven't felt that, And I just allowed myself to feel that and allow the sound to still happen. I didn't try to fix anything. I just was like, whatever. If I break down on the road, okay, I get it towed. I wouldn't have to think, where the hell am I going to get money to get it towed? How am I going to walk back? How am I, all these things. I felt, financially free enough to be able to have adult decisions that I could make, not be so at the mercy of the elemental matrix field, whatever. So I calmed down. And then all of a sudden, this siren came out of nowhere. And it was very kind of scary because I couldn't figure out where it was coming. But again, they're all just signs. It's just kind of like, oh, somebody's coming to rescue. Somebody's, being helped. Maybe that's me also. I'm in the field of this, that I'm being helped. Oh, thank you, and I kind of want to like hurry up and get off the road, which I do. And then I finally realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to the thrift store. I didn't realize at this point, like I'm like clueless. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the thrift store. My favorite one. So I drive up there and I'm like, oh, is it closed? I'm like, intuitively again, I ask, and I'm like, no, it's not closed. You're just the beginning person. And I'm like, oh, good. It's the beginning of the week. Things are fresh. There won't be sharks swimming around in there. I get more space just to like see if I want something. So I go in there and I walk through. As soon as I go in there, I always go to the furniture section first. That's kind of like my fancy place. And I find immediately 2 bedside tables that we are actually needing for my son's room, because he's using cardboard boxes and a plastic thing, which is really annoying. And I was very excited. It was $9.99, and then the other one was $6.99. I'm like, I can afford that. I was like, I could do that. And they were just beautiful. They were beige wood. And so I was just like, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I was just in abundant gratitude at this point. I felt very thankful, even though I went in there and I was thinking something else that I really wanted to find, which was part of a wolf Halloween costume. And I didn't, a lot of times before I go in the thrift store, I know what I'm going to find. It's almost like I have this like some type of synergy with this building, with the people in the building. I've talked to pretty much everybody who works there. I've met so many people of my friends there, like psychically, like it's just so surreal. And just like, it's a vortex in its own place. So, and aren't you wondering where it is? No, I'm kidding. I will never tell. No, I'm kidding. It's Goodwill. I don't know what the roads are. US 1. So hold on. So here I am already happy, I'm grateful, not even happy, just grateful. And so I look around and I'm like, oh, there's more stuff. How cool is that? Like, I'm thinking, oh, I already just won, and then I see other stuff and I'm like, ooh. So jump back a few days ago. We just set up a pool. Yes, it was September, but it's super hot here in Florida. And we got this pool for Christmas. Santa got this pool for Christmas and last Christmas. And we finally were like, oh my gosh, we should really set this up. So we go set up, it's a 16-foot above pool. And we're very, very excited about it. And I've been wanting this foam pad raft. Now, just for context, I've been wanting this foam pad raft since 1988, I would say. My aunt got, maybe 89, something like that. My aunt got this foam raft thing. It's just like this, I don't even know what to call it, just like a foam mat, essentially, that's thick. And it floats, obviously. And she had a huge in-ground pool. And I was so envious of this raft that she had. And of course, she wouldn't let us touch it because it was so expensive. Now, I looked it up of how expensive this mat was. And on Amazon right now, it's $115 or something like that. And so I was like, there is no way I'm spending $115. I wouldn't even spend half of that, ever. So when she bought it, I think it was around $60. I don't know why I remember stuff like that, but I just remember it was such a prized thing. And of course, because we weren't, as us kids, I was in 5th grade, I think, we weren't allowed to go and use that. So this is a very thing that I've obviously wanted this forever, what is that, 30, 40 years, something like that. So I went and I was in Lowe's a couple days prior to this. And all of a sudden, and I've been on Facebook after we set up the pool, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should look for this mat. So I went on Facebook Marketplace, could not find it anywhere there because everyone who sold it is selling it the same price as it brand new. Like, it was ridiculous. Some people were selling it for $250, so I was just like, what is so special about your mat compared to the Amazon one? Anyway, it was a whole thing. So then I was in Lowe's a couple days ago and trying to get pool salt to filtration for our new pool. And all of a sudden I found those, the mat, the the pool mat, but they were maybe a third, maybe a quarter of the size. And they were ones that you just sit on, kind of like a diaper. It just looked like a diaper. It was the shape of a diaper and you just sit on it. And I'm like, so what? You just bounce in the water like you can't lay down. And they were on sale. So they were on sale they were normally $40 and they were on sale for $23 or $26, something like that. And I was like all excited. I was like, oh my God. And I kept on trying to distract my kid so she wouldn't see it. And then I was just like, I was getting actually really aggravated because I couldn't focus. So again, here's the signs, like I wish, me included, we'd pay more attention and give more power to this than we do. And I was really aggravated because I couldn't pay attention. And it's just like, here she was being a child and using the energy of least resistance, of flow. And I'm just thinking she's being normal, but it was actually more than normal. Kept on pushing me to do what she wanted to do and not pay attention. So I could not get my attention. I tried to take a picture and thinking, should I buy these? And I was like, no, I don't have the finances right now to buy luxury items. I'm like, no, it's for Christmas. Try to spread out Christmas so Christmas doesn't come upon me and be like, because I was going to get it for the kids. And I was just like, you know what? No, I know what I want. I really want this thing. And I'm just going to be okay if I don't have it. It's good enough that I want something and I can't afford something. I can't just go out and buy it. And I can't afford it, but I still am allowed to want it, that should be, so, okay, 16 minutes in, a revelation. Anyway, so that was a really big deal. So now jump back into present day and I'm at the thrift store and I find the 2 tables. I'm very excited. I'm not into like, oh, there's more. I just realized, oh my gosh, I'm just excited of like, I found something that I actually really needed that I've been looking for briefly. And so then my phone is buzzing. Anytime my phone buzzes, I now use it as a, yes, thank you, as an oracle essentially of whatever I'm talking about. So then I turn around and I happen to see a laundry hamper. And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually need that. And I was just using something as something else for my son, for his bedroom. And I was like, should I? And it was like, I think $8 or $7.99. And I was just like, oh. And then I was like, you know what? It's really nice. It's rattan. It has wood on top. It's just really beautiful. It's like, I think I'm just going to do that. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And again, I was just saying, okay. I finish going down that aisle and I get stopped maybe 3 feet, ahead. And then all of a sudden on my left, I see something else. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was it was a table. Sorry, it was a table and then this rattan. So I have 4 items at this point and I'm like, oh my God, and I'm putting them down because I'm nervous because I was like, how am I going to carry this all the way up there without people taking it? Because usually you don't leave stuff around because as soon as you like something, somebody comes up right behind you and takes it. It's very peculiar, but it's kind of fun in that way. Like there's just something fun and free about it. It's not like, I don't know, but that's why I always say it's like sharks swimming around. So I have all this stuff and I'm like, just set it down. Just be okay. If someone takes it, okay, whatever. As soon as I do that, I turn to the right. Something turned my head. Literally, I felt like somebody actually turned my head. And I turned to my head and all I could do is see it. And there it is. I'm almost going to cry because this is so emotional. I immediately claim it. The blue, what is it called? Sensation super soft float mat. There's the raft right there on the ground, laying there as if I were going to like lay down on it, jump on it. Yeah. I was so shocked. I don't know if I squealed or what happened, but I was just like, oh my God. So then I'm like taking pictures of it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And it's like, here it is, something I so wanted in this beautiful way that showed up. But here's the kicker. This isn't the finale of why I'm talking about this. So then I realized I have to get all this stuff up to the front and ask them, hey, can I put it kind of to the side of all your cashier, what is it called? This?
Cash registers?
Yeah, the cash registers. And so I go up there, like dragging, like basically dead bodies up there. I'm like, can I put this to the side? They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I do that. And then all of a sudden I realize, oh shit, it's not really mine. And it was that slight panic, not slight, it was panic of feeling I don't own it. I don't have it. And it started to go into disappointment. And here, all I wanted to do was literally check out, buy it, put it in my car, and then go and finish shopping. But I knew, and I really knew better, not to do that, because that would defeat the entirety of what just happened. Like, it would just ruin it, to be very honest. So what just happened of finding this sensation or whatever this thing, mat and everything else that I found, was that I was free. I was free to be able to find it. So then I decided, okay, I'm just going to go and start looking around for the other things that I just wanted to go and see, because I was looking for a couple other things. And I was like, Vanessa, just let it go. So I cannot tell you how many times I went up to the cash register just to check on my little stash, and add to it. But just to be like, baby, I'm going to be right back, just to like almost like talk to it, of where I was feeling comforted. It was comforting me and I was comforting it, even though I didn't buy it yet,
And you've seen people look through stuff up by the registers.
Yeah, all the time. I've put so many stuff up by the register where, Steve's talking about it. And I've had people go and touch my stuff. I've been like, oh, this is nice. They think it's like something they're going to put out on the floor, for sale. And I'm like, that's my stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I hate, like, I don't say that. Like, I'm just like, oh no. And I usually go up there and be like, yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Or something like that. But it's just it's uncomfortable, So there is like that ownership situation happening of just humanness. So here I am. I ended up, whether I created it or not, I say it's more of a calling to. It's not necessarily, it is creation on the highest form, but, or manifestation, however you want to see it, but it's not in the sense of ownership manifestation. I'm not interested in owning. Ego me would love that, would love nothing more, but I know better. I genuinely know better, because that will never, ever give you what you're seeking, ever. And you'll lose it and you'll feel ultimate devastation. And so don't go there. That's just my words of wisdom. Don't go there. So the point is that here I go. So I went all around the store. I actually found other things, and I found something that I almost didn't buy, but I knew I was supposed to buy. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm hosting this seance sit-in, and it's basically about channeling some of your powerful people that not necessarily you've known in life, but let's say a poet that really speaks to you, For me, it's going to be my grandmother. So we're going to be dressing up as this person, It's a whole thing, event. And so I found something, a leopard jacket, and I have her leopard slippers in, from when she was alive. And it was just her. Like, it was just like just her. And so I was just like, oh, wow, there was other things. It wasn't just this sensations mat, and other stuff. There was there was more of a dialogue to this stuff. And it was funny because this was something that I wasn't needing or attached and it was $7.99. I don't know what's up with all the $7.99s, but like they also raised their prices, which I was really mad about. Because I memorize prices like nobody's business. And so I was just like, Anyway. So I was going all around, found all these different things, kept on checking on my stuff. And again, I found other things that I almost bought, but I remembered about this mat. And I said, nope, it is not exact. It is not like things that I addressed that was just so beautiful, just beautiful. But I couldn't fully breathe in it. Like I have a really big, football frame around my upper chest or whatever. So I have a swimmer's body. But it was too tight. It was not too tight. It was like just the tiniest bit too tight. And I remembered how I got this mat, even though I didn't own it yet. And I was just like, wait, just let it show up. Let it be perfect. Let it be a perfect fit. Just like the mat. I didn't want a diaper, mat that goes in the pool. I wanted a full mat that I could lay down, a full raft. So that let it fit you, perfectly. So then I go up and I finally got it all together and I paid for it. And so what were we coming in here and talking about?
The manifesting and maintaining.
Yeah.
So you manifested it. You felt good about the creation of it. You didn't have to.
Or the calling it. For me, I always feel like I'm calling it to me. I don't really like the word manifestation because I feel like it's like trying to create something from nothing. And I feel like that's a lot of work and and it's like, who am I to know anything, so go ahead.
But you also said that you were manifesting it just to manifest it, just to create it, not to own it. Like it's pretty amazing that you manifested it, like that it was just there, in the first place.
Yeah, that it could show up because I was showing up, just listening. And it wasn't attachment style. It wasn't manifesting through attachment. It was manifesting. But then we were talking about what happens when you manifest. And this is what happened that I noticed of when I was in the store wanting to just buy my stuff and put it in my car so I could own it. That was a manifesting, maintaining. And that doesn't work. Because that's exhaustive.
Wait, what did you say?
So manifesting, maintaining to me was that I had to maintain the energy of owning it, of finding it, of it being mine. And that didn't feel too good. I didn't like that too much. And instead of manifesting, and so one of the practices, so again, this is why it's so good that I didn't have money. You know what I'm saying? Because if I were to have money, I would have been able to buy whatever I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And then I would have been like, oh, I'm just manifesting it. Oh, look, it's on Amazon. Great. If you don't have money, you are getting the opportunity to really play and do this work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an opportunity. This isn't the hell that we put on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that maybe we're the luckiest people ever and the richest people ever in the context that we're learning how manifestation works. The more money you have, the easier things are. But you might have a totally different way of how to do that, and I would love to hear from people who actually do learn how to manifest with money, because I think that's honestly even a bigger challenge not a bigger challenge. It's just a totally different challenge. And they have to challenge themselves probably 50 times more. Like they actually have to challenge themselves. And how we humans, we are born in the space of all I want is comfort. We're in the womb is comfortable. I don't want to get out of the womb because it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? What's all this pushing? You know, that. So it's just kind of like, there is just, when you have that push against you, it's so uncomfortable. And I don't even want to say I'm used to it, but I am partially used to it, of living in such uncomfortableness. You know what I'm saying? So my job is I have to constantly work to be in the feeling of feeling rich, maybe without being rich yet. You know what I'm saying? So I had to bring that feeling of being in that car before I even got to the thrift store and having my car act up and so forth, and being comfortable of what it would feel like if I was financially stable, you know, financially fortunate, whatever you want to call it, and still let that problem be that problem. Okay? So that's the leg up of when you do have money. It's not really even lucky. It's just like, oh, you don't have that exercise, you know? So I had that exercise of having to do that. Now that I have the manifestation, the maintaining of manifestation, this is one of the parts of, can I manifest something and not be attached to it? Can this, oh, okay, fine, I bought it and I paid, oh, by the way, I paid $14.99 for it. So double $7.99 or whatever. So two, can I go and purchase this and still not own it? Can it be so I don't have to maintain the manifestation of, okay, well, now I got to keep it safe. Now my kids can't play on it. Now, you know, even though I bought it actually for my kids. I bought it for all of us. You know what I'm saying? But that was the point. I wanted all of us to be able to play on it, not just one person. So I didn't want to buy the diaper one. So the maintenance for that manifestation, a lot of times we think, oh, we manifested something. Let's say we manifested a job, or we manifested, you know, a house or something that we want, something big. It doesn't mean that it's over. It means now, great, now I got to figure out how to pay that mortgage, or great, now I got to figure out, is this going to really work for me? Is this my joy? Is this da, 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 da? So I think we get cut short. We cut ourselves short a lot of thinking that manifesting is just the finale. So when it comes, that's it. You're great. You manifested it. It's just like, I don't think so. I think what we're doing is just playing. So I think we need to doesn't matter what's in your bank account. You know, you could be super loaded and be listening to this, and you have a totally different challenge, to be honest. And it's hard of an exercise to be able to manifest, but keeping in the joy of it. So manifest without owning. Manifest without having to maintain that energy. What I realized is walking through that store and finding these things, that was the happiest part of all these moments, was the finding. It wasn't the owning. It was the finding. And all I could think of in the whole process of all of this is, if I could do that, how can I do the big stuff? How can I do the things that I am really on my knees about and bawling my eyes out every day about? How can I do that? So I think it's the same way. I think it's not trying to make it what you want it to be, but to be very clear of what you would like. Mm-hmm. And see how many ways it can show up. Because I will guarantee you, that this is not going to be the only sensation mat that I'm going to find. I will guarantee you that I will probably find several more. Just randomly. Why? Because this always happens. As soon as I open the door to it somehow, magically, without expecting a room to be on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Just opening the door to see what is flowing in, you know? But I had to also get to the place of, hey, I really want this. Even though I have no business economically, that, you know, society will tell you you have no business in, you know, making that a need, you know, that's frivolous. It's like, Jesus is like, I know. I know.
When you found the diaper mats, did you feel like you manifested the diaper mats?
That's a really good question. I did, and because they were on sale, but it was because they were on sale. Right. That's what made me felt like I manifested them, because they all of a sudden became in my budget, maybe, but they weren't exact. Right,
because I think you were dealing with a double learning experience right there. You know, like you manifested, you felt the manifestation, you felt good about it, you walked away from it. You justified it by walking away from it, by saying it wasn't exact, but still, I was wondering if you realized that you manifested it, that you realized, because you realized you manifested it within your price range, same thickness, you know, maybe not the same length.
It was, yeah, not the same length, but the same thickness.
Right. Yeah. So you manifested something equivalent.
It's kind of like when people are like, oh, I want a husband. Okay. Oh, somebody would say girl or guy, but they're just like, I want a husband and I want this. And then all of a sudden somebody shows up and they're like, oh my God, you're so perfect, but you're 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, sorry, you're too short. It's like that. It was just like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like I knew that I was, quote, manifesting. We need to find a different word than manifesting. But because it just reminds me of fest, like festering. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I don't like the word at all. Anyway, but that's what it's like. It's that, like, I'm drumming it up. I'm doing my potions of my cocktail without ever doing anything. I'm just I'm pulling where I feel good, you know, essentially. I'm pulling on my heartstrings I'm not pulling on my heartstrings, I'm tuning my heartstrings. You know, of like, ooh, I like that music, but then it's like it's a 10-year-old kid and you're just like, oh, damn, can't marry you, you know. So it was that situation, I guess, at Lowe's that I kind of felt. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you know, like,
yeah, that's a good question.
You did walk away from it because, yeah, I was tuning back into, you know, it's hard to manifest. No, it's a different experience to manifest when you have money. But let's say you have a little bit of money, or you know, like the $26 wouldn't have been any problem. You know, but you still had to.
Yeah, that wasn't my case. $26 was still a problem.
But yeah, what if it wasn't? You know, what if that was perfect? You know, like, oh, that's.
Yeah, like let's say a year and a half ago, that would have been, yeah, I could do that. I could afford that. That would be fine. Mm-hmm. And I probably would have gotten it.
Right.
I probably would have sold myself short, literally, you know.
Right.
And that's it. I think that's why I'm like so grateful. Like, I don't want to continue this poorness. You know what I'm saying? This is shit, you know? But while I'm here, while I have this to work with, and I think that was really it. And that was my kind of conclusion of a feeling of this is what I have to work with. That, you know what I'm saying? So if we all just took our reality, whatever it is, this is what I have to work with. Well, then let me fucking work with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let me do the actual work instead of pouting that I should have something different to work with. This is what I have to work with. Oh my God. So much came out of this. Like so much came out of this.
I was trying to think of, for some people, Lowe's would have been it, as far as, and
most people.
And really been it,
Yes.
like, it would have been not just the finale. They could have, at Lowe's, you had too much to carry, had to put it behind the cash register and say, please don't let anybody else take this,
Right.
Hold it for me. And they would have had to come back and check on it at Lowe's, and make sure nobody took off with it, even though Lowe's probably has 212 of them on stock. but but still, it could have been the same experience. It's not like you took it one step farther or anything like that. But, in some ways you did, because you said, no, that's not really what I really wanted.
And that's the ticket, is that do you really, even if it's showing up, is it 100% of what you want? And I honestly, one of the things I learned that kind of trick from is from my sister.
Yeah.
Because she is the perfect Taurus in that way, of that she does not buy things unless they are 100%. There's that Venetian little quality, of being like, oh no, only the best. Doesn't mean the best has to be expensive at all, but the best to her. I am not that person. To me, everything is the best. Broken is the best. I don't need like things that are polished, or I prefer things that are not. That's just me. But the problem with, not the problem, but the difference between us is that I also have kind of not low expectations. I don't have high expectations. So I don't wait. Like, I'm not the person who I'm like, oh yeah, I'll wait 3 years to go and find, something, and then, a blanket that I've always wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not waiting 3 years. By 3 years, my taste totally change. I'm like, I'm too changeable. So I'm not, like, for her, she's not changeable in that way at all. And so it's worth the wait for her. For me, I am so not that person. But when I do, and I manifest really, really quickly, I do not, something like that. Like I'd grow so bored. Like that would just so not be me. So you have to tailor it to you. You can't be me, and you can't be my sister. You have to do what works for you. You might be option 3, whatever that is. But I think that's really, really important. Yeah. So in summary, it's basically turn to Jesus, turn to the signs, whatever's showing up, pay attention to. It's helping you. Everything is helping you. Every single thing. And love yourself. You really are worth it. Love all parts of you. I love you. Bye.
We love you.